Hey everyone, my name is Cryptic D Athena, and this is Devil Fruit Fridays. This is going to be a long-running series of me designing completely original devil fruits and how they would work on a user. I will be coming up with every fruit for now, but eventually you all will be able to suggest some fruit ideas. Last week I talked about the fish fruit model, Goldfish. Anyways, let's continue with this week's fruit. Week 2, Taru no Mi, or the Tartar fruit. A paramecia fruit that allows the user to become a tar man, with the ability to produce and control tar substances. Strengths. The Tartar fruit would work similarly to Magellan, Mr. 3, or Katakuri, as they can all produce their respective substances in similar ways. It works similarly to Katakuri's in that it can stretch in similar ways, but there are a few drawbacks that I'll get to shortly. It can harden easily like Mr. 3's wax fruit, and the user can make a similar protective layer of hot tar around them like Magellan's poison fruit. I imagine if the user was trained properly, they could even appear to be like a Logia in the same vein as Katakuri, but since his fruit is deemed a special paramecia, his ability to appear like a Logia may stem from that special category. The tar fruit user can control the temperatures of their tar abilities, allowing them to make the tar extremely hot or tougher by cooling it down. This allows the user to create different objects or shapes for any occasion. The user can control various forms of tar, as there are different substances inside the tar itself whenever you make it. However, once they start controlling one particular form, it will turn into the form that the fruit itself has. The form of tar that this fruit is based on is the kind that cannot conduct electricity, which leads us into this fruit's weaknesses. Although the fruit is very strong and can be used in similar ways to already existing devil fruits, there is one major drawback. When using abilities, the area of which tar comes from will constantly be dripping with hot tar, so the user must train to control the temperature of the fruit. The user of the fruit can adjust the temperature of these dripping areas to be more consistently stable. However, their freedom of movement will be hindered. Think of it as Luffy using elephant gun attacks, but he couldn't stretch his arms out as long without having to heat up the rubber in his arms. If that's not a good analogy, try imagining this. The tar fruit user throws a similar attack to that of Luffy's elephant gun. The user stretches out their arm and makes it bigger at the end, but now they have to pull it back. If the user is not properly trained, overwhelmed, or weakened, the heavy end of this attack would fall off the limb, because they cannot control the temperature of the tar in between their shoulder and the heavy end of the similar elephant gun attack. Not only does the tar fruit user have to constantly maintain the temperature of their abilities, but the only way they cannot be affected by electrical attacks is by being in the hot dripping tar state. If the tar fruit user were to clash with a hardened tar attack against an electrically charged attack from someone like Enel, the hardened tar would potentially break. This is not taking into account of the user having access to armament haki, which would be the only way to counter powerful electrical attacks. Other weaknesses are the standard devil fruit weaknesses. Powers. Generally, the Tartar fruit acts like Mr. 3 and Katakuri's fruit, but on a higher level of maintenance. The user can manipulate their tar in a variety of ways that can go in any direction. Frankly, the powers don't really need an explanation aside from the weaknesses, which I have already talked about. Here's a fun fact about tar. It was used on sails and the hulls of ships to keep them waterproof. This is because once tar would cool on the sails, it would keep water off of them. Because of this, a tar fruit user might be handled as a shipwright. Furthermore, potentially busted ability of this fruit would be allowing the user to create a tar film around their skin to protect themselves from water. This would allow them to at least swim in sources of water without getting the negative effects from being in water. However, this ability would be cancelled out by the user activating any other ability because of the heat produced by the tar, and the user would still be affected. Sea Stone. Awakening. The tar fruit's awakening works the same as Katakuri's. In conclusion, the Tartar fruit is a deceptively simple and potentially very powerful devil fruit. You'd have insane creativity with the basic ability of being able to create any shape or object, along with the heat from the tar being enough to dissuade most people to even touch you. along with the ability to potentially swim, although this time with using an ability from the devil fruit. I'd imagine if the fruit were implemented into One Piece, that the idea of being able to swim would be balanced out by something like, okay, since it's an ability of the devil fruit, it's cancelled out by seawater. But Devil Fruit Fridays is about thinking outside of the box, and the ability to swim with a paramecia fruit is 10 miles outside of the box. Anyways, what do you guys think about my tar fruit? Do you have any further information about tar? Do you think it'd be a cool or dumb fruit to have? And would you want the fruit? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want, and follow me on Twitter to see all my videos artwork. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.